Welcome back, Dan Williams, Survive Outdoors. What I'm going to do is break up poison ivy into about 3 videos, and we're going to first look at what it actually looks like. How can you identify it? And then the next video, we're going to be talking about the specifics of the rash. And then coming up, we're going to be talking about how do you get rid of that itch that's a pain in the butt. So today, what does poison ivy look like? And 3 leaves, let it be, and you're done. Not necessarily. So we're going to get into that. So in the springtime, when poison ivy is just starting to sprout, it's a very young plant, obviously, and like all young plants, they're very fragile, but the leaves are going to be shiny and waxy. Like the picture right now you're going to look at, you're going to see that it has a waxy, shiny appearance. Not all the time, but a lot of young plants are going to look like that. They also, when they first sprout, they're not always green. People say, oh, well, they're red in the fall and they're green in the spring. Not necessarily. So in the spring, a lot of times you'll may see a little bit of a red tint to the leaves, and they're not always serrated. So the edge of the leaf can be serrated and it can be straight. Now when it's young, it's almost always a straight edge on the leaves, and then as the plant ages, you'll see it start to have serrations on the edge. So 3 leaves in the spring, starting to sprout, waxy, shiny, and that's one of the ways you're going to tell. Now in the eastern part of the United States, poison ivy is a ground vine, and it can also be a climber and climb on trees. On the western part of the United States, it is primarily on the ground. You do not see it climbing trees. Part of that probably has to do with climate. With poison ivy, and we're in mid-March now, look at this, you'll look at this vine here. You'll see these little fingerlings coming off the vine, and that actually helps it climb the tree. And I had one out here a few years ago, and it actually was with a grapevine combined with it. But on poison ivy vines, you'll frequently see this little hairy-like structures, and that aids in it climbing the tree. So that's poison ivy in the springtime. Then early summer, midsummer, as you see in this picture here, you can see those serrated edges. Also the berries. In the beginning, those berries are going to be green, and then they'll eventually turn a pale white, almost like a, pale white. I can't think of anything to describe it better than that. Now, birds, deer, love to eat poison ivy leaves, poison ivy berries. It is a mainstay in the wildlife community. There's only 2 mammals that have a reaction to poison ivy: humans and hamsters. How they figure that out, I have no idea. So if you're taking your hamster for a walk on a leash, make sure it avoids the poison ivy. So in the summertime, you're going to see, and it can be serrated and it can be straight. It often gets confused a lot of times with the 5-leaf plant Virginia creeper, which is odd to me, but it has 5 leaves, and we'll show you a picture here. Many times it gets confused with other plants, and we're going to show you here. Jack in the pulpit is common, box elder, 3 leaves. And when you notice on poison ivy, it's 3 leaves, and that first one's going to come out with somewhat of a stem. They're all not going to come out right at the center. So pay attention to that. Wild raspberry very commonly gets confused. So the poison ivy branch, it does not have any thorns on it. So keep that in mind. In the winter, fall and winter, it's always one of the first leaves to turn colors. So it'll turn red, yellowish, orange, and that's going to be directly dependent on how dry it is and how much moisture we've received at the time. So you're going to see a reddish, you can see a yellowish, it can be orangish red, a variety of different colors. And those berries, remember, they're going to be pale white at this point in time. So those are the main features of poison ivy and how it can differ. So I hope that helps. That is poison ivy spring, summer, fall. and how to identify it. Next video, we're going to be talking about the rash and how you can identify it and what confuses that rash with other rashes. Well, you know, frequently in the clinic we'll see something and it is confusing at times. So we're going to take care of that. All right, guys, keep your eyes on the rise and your face to win. See you next time.